Hello children, happy to see you again. I am fine here and expect the same from you. I am a teacher Dakshayani, handling biology from Bardasnath Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to see 10th standard biology, chapter 16, plant and animal hormones. So in this chapter we are discussing about the various hormones of plants such as auxins, gibberellins, abscisic acid, and later on we discussed about the animal hormones such as starting from pituitary to gonads. So in this session we are going to see about the pancreas. So let us recap. In the previous session we studied about the thyroid as well as the parathyroid gland, right? Where the thyroid gland is located? Yes, in the neck region. So what is the hormone secreted by thyroid gland? Yes, thyroxine. Thyroxine, that is especially T3, triiodothreonine and tetraiodotreonine, that is T4. And later on we discussed about the parathyroid gland. Where the parathyroid glands are located? The parathyroid glands are located inside the thyroid. In the four lobes, these yellow structures are referred as parathyroid. And the parathyroid secretions are responsible for regulating the calcium in our body. Calcium regulation is done by the parathyroid gland. So let us go into the session. So what is this organ, children? Yes, pancreas. Where the pancreas is located? Yes, any idea? Yes, it is located in the abdominal region. And especially the exact location is that it is located in the loop. Loop means bend-like structure between the stomach and the duodenum. Here the stomach is present and this is a duodenum. So in the loop between the stomach and the duodenum, the yellow color elongated structures, we say it as pancreas. So pancreas is a yellowish elongated leaf-like structure. Elongated leaf-like structure. And where it is located? It is located in the loop between the stomach and the duodenum. This pancreas, we can refer it as a dual gland. Why we say it is a dual gland? What do you mean by dual? Two, right? So this pancreas functions both as exocrine as well as the endocrine glands. What do you mean by exocrine? Exocrine means enzymes, right? They possess the ducts. For example, the pancreas possesses the pancreatic ducts. And it is responsible for the secretion of pancreatic juice and help in digestion. So this is the exocrine function of the pancreas. So what is the endocrine function? The pancreas also secretes some hormones, right? And the pancreas possesses the specialized structures called islets of Langerhans. So they possess different cells which is responsible for secreting various hormones. So let us see that. So hence the pancreas functions both as exocrine and endocrine. It is referred as a dual gland. Here a reasoning questions may be asked, why pancreas is referred as dual gland? So now we are going to see about the islets of Langerhans. I told you in the pancreas there is a specialized structures called as the islets of Langerhans. So this is the full image of islets of Langerhans. Here this islets of Langerhans possess two types of cells. One is the alpha cells and another one is the beta cells. So alpha cells, here these green structures are referred as the alpha cells, right? Alpha cells is responsible for the secretion of glucagon and the beta cells, right? These beta cells are enormous in number when compared to the alpha cells, and these beta cells are responsible for the secretion of insulin. Apart from this, islets of Langerhans also possess the another type of cell called as the delta cells. This green shaped structures, dark green, we say it as a delta glands, and this delta glands are responsible, delta cells are responsible for the secretion of a hormone called somatostatin. So, what are the three cells of islets of Langerhans, children? Alpha, beta and delta. What is the secretion of alpha cells? Glucagon. What is the secretion of beta cells? Insulin. And what is the secretion of delta cells? Somatostatin. This they may ask in one mark question. So, now let us see the functions of pancreatic hormones, especially the insulin and glucagon, right? The perfect balance between insulin and glucagon is responsible for regulating our glucose level, that is a blood glucose level or blood sugar level. So, first we are going to see about the insulin. So, insulin, how, from where it is secreted? It is secreted by beta cells. Beta cells. And the main another important function of the insulin is that it is responsible for the conversion of glucose into glycogen. And store this glycogen in liver and muscles. And another important function is that the insulin is responsible for decreasing blood glucose level. It is responsible for reducing the blood glucose level. Since it is responsible for reducing the blood glucose level, we can also name it as hypoglycemic hormone. Hypoglycemic hormone. Right? So, these are the functions of insulin, or they may also ask it as write the physiological effects of insulin. So, now let us compare the functions of insulin with that of the glucagon. So, first insulin here it is secreted by the beta cells, right? Likewise, here the glucagon is secreted by alpha cells. It is secreted by alpha cells. And the function of glucagon is antagonistic, that is opposite to that of the insulin. For example, here the glucose is converted into glycogen, right? But here glucagon helps the conversion of glycogen to glucose. So, by the function of both the hormones, one reduces the blood glucose level and the another hormone increases the blood glucose level. So, always the blood glucose level is maintained at certain level. If there is any disbalance in the secretion, it leads to some of the diseases. So, let us discuss that later. So, here the glucagon works opposite to that of the insulin. Here it converts glycogen to glucose. So, automatically what happens? It increases the blood glucose level. It increases the blood glucose level. So, hence this glucagon is responsible for the increase in blood glucose level. It is also referred as hyperglycemic hormone. Hyperglycemic hormone. Hyperglycemic hormone. So this is the difference between insulin as well as glucagon, and they may ask separately also, write the functions of insulin and write the functions of glucagon. So now we are going to see about the diabetes mellitus. What is diabetes mellitus? When there is the decreased secretion of insulin. When there is no insulin, what will happen, children? When there is decreased secretion of insulin, yes, glucose will not be converted into glycogen. So automatically what will happen? There is an increase in the blood glucose level, and the first thing is that it leads to hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia. So what is hyperglycemia? Hyper means more. Glycemia means the level of glucose. So increased level of glucose in blood. So the first symptom of diabetes mellitus is the hyperglycemia, and the second symptom is that glycosuria. Glycosuria. Glycose refers to glucose, urea refers to urine. So here we can say increased glucose level in urine. Increased glucose level in urine. So this is glycosuria. And the another symptom is that you can see the person who suffers from diabetes mellitus, they often feel more hungry, right? Because in a normal person, the glucose is stored as glycogen, and whenever in need, automatically the glucagon converts glycogen into glucose. But here, for the diabetes patient, the glucose is not utilized and it is excreted through the urine. So we can always observe the diabetes patient is always tired. So the another symptom of the diabetes mellitus is the polyphagia. Phago refers to eat, right? So polyphagia means increased hunger. Increased hunger. They often feel more hunger. Next one is polydipsia. Dipsia refers to thirst. So increased thirst. Increased thirst. And the another important symptom is that polyuria. That is increased secretion of urine. Increased urine secretion. Right. So when there is more excretion of urine, to compensate that, we always consume more water. So that happens in the case of the diabetes patient. So what are all the symptoms of diabetes mellitus, children? Hyperglycemia, glycosuria, polyphagia, polydipsia and polyuria. So let us discuss another important organ, thymus. Where the thymus is located? Thymus is located in the chest region, right? In the chest region there is a trachea, right? Trachea, and the lower portion of the trachea we can observe the thymus, and it is located above the heart. And this thymus is bilobed. That is, it consists of two lobes. One is the right lobe and another one is the left lobe. So what is the function of this thymus? The thymus secretes a hormone called thymosin. Apart from this, there are many hormones, thymulin, thymopoietin, and the main function of this thymus is to increase immunity of our body. increased immunity, and especially thymocytes are the sites of the production and maturation of T lymphocytes. Yes, there are two types of lymphocytes, children. B lymphocytes and another one is the T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes develops in the bone marrow and the T lymphocytes get matured in the thymus. But the functions of thymus decreases after the age of 12. So let us recap. We have discussed about the pancreas and we also discussed why pancreas is also called as the dual gland. And later on we discussed about the secretions of what are the functions of insulin as well as what are the functions of glucagon, and later on we discussed about an important disease called diabetes mellitus. How the diabetes mellitus is caused? Yes, very good, due to the decreased secretion of insulin. And later on we discussed about the thymus gland and the secretions, and that is thymosin, and what are the functions of the thymus. So with this session comes to an end, children. Thank you.